Have you ever driven down a deserted road late at night, with the rain hammering against your windshield? The world outside is just a blur of dark shapes and reflecting lights. It's on nights like these, they say, that you might meet her. The girl in the white dress. This is one of the most widespread and chilling ghost stories ever told. A tale that has been whispered by truckers at roadside diners and shared around campfires for generations. It's a story that feels so real, you'll start checking your rear-view mirror on your next rainy drive home. The legend takes many forms, but the core elements are always the same. It begins with a lone driver on a dark, winding road. The rain is relentless, making visibility poor. Suddenly, the headlights catch something up ahead, a figure standing by the side of the road. As the car gets closer, the driver sees it's a young woman, drenched to the bone, wearing a simple white dress. She looks lost, desperate, and completely out of place. Her thumb is out, pleading for a ride. What would you do? Most people, their hearts filled with a mix of pity and unease, would pull over. The Good Samaritan instinct kicks in. You can't just leave a girl out there in a storm like this. So, the driver stops, rolls down the passenger window, and asks if she needs help. She's usually silent, or maybe she just nods, her eyes wide and haunting. She might say she's trying to get home. Just a few miles down the road, the driver, reassured, tells her to hop in. She climbs into the passenger seat, water dripping from her dress onto the floor mat. The car door shuts, and a strange chill fills the air, a cold that has nothing to do with the rain outside. The driver tries to make small talk, asking her name or where she's coming from. What are you doing out here so late? They might ask. But her answers are vague, quiet, or she might not speak at all, simply staring ahead at the rain-slicked road. The driver continues on, following the direction she gave, or simply driving towards the next town. The atmosphere in the car grows heavy, almost suffocating. The silence is broken only by the rhythmic thump of the windshield wipers and the hum of the engine. After a few minutes, the driver might glance over to say something, maybe to comment on the terrible weather, and that's when it happens. The passenger seat is empty. The girl is gone. The seatbelt is still buckled. The door is still locked. There's no sign of her, except for one thing, a damp patch on the seat where she was sitting. The driver slams on the brakes, heart pounding in their chest. They look around wildly, searching the dark road, the back seat. But there's no one. She has vanished into thin air, as if she were never there at all. Confused and terrified, the driver might just speed away, trying to put as much distance as possible between them and that haunted stretch of road. But some versions of the story go a step further. In these tellings, the driver is so shaken that they decide they must find an explanation. Maybe the girl left something behind, a book, a scarf, or she gave a specific address. Driven by a need to understand what just happened, the driver continues to the address the girl mentioned. They pull up to an old house, lights on inside. A bit hesitantly, they walk up to the door and knock. An elderly couple answers, their faces etched with a gentle sadness. The driver begins to explain the strange encounter. I'm so sorry to bother you, they start, but I just gave your daughter a ride. She was out on the highway in the rain, and she told me she lived here. But then, she just disappeared from my car. The old woman's eyes fill with tears. The man puts a comforting arm around her. You're not the first, he says, his voice heavy with sorrow. Many kind people have stopped for our daughter over the years. He then leads the driver to a picture on the mantelpiece. It's the same girl from the roadside. The same haunting eyes. That's our daughter, the father explains. She was killed in a car accident on that very stretch of road 20 years ago tonight. It was a rainy night, just like this one. She was on her way home from a dance, wearing her favorite white dress. Every year, on the anniversary of her death, her spirit tries to make it home. In another popular variation of this legend, the driver doesn't go to the house, but instead discovers the truth later. Still freaked out by the vanishing passenger, they stop at the next all-night diner to get a coffee and calm their nerves. They tell the story to the waitress or another customer, expecting to be called crazy. But instead of disbelief, they see a look of knowing sadness. The person they're talking to nods slowly and says, "Ah, you met Mary," or whatever her local name is. They then proceed to tell the driver the same tragic story. A young woman, a fatal accident on a rainy night, and a restless spirit forever trying to get a ride home. They might even point the driver towards the local cemetery. And in the most chilling versions, the driver, compelled by some unseen force, goes to that cemetery. They wander through the rows of weathered tombstones until they find it, a grave with the girl's name on it. And lying on the cold, damp stone is the jacket or sweater the driver had lent her just moments before, draped carefully over her final resting place. That personal touch, that physical proof, is what truly makes this story terrifying. It bridges the gap between the supernatural world and our own. So, where did this story come from? Folklorists trace it back to the early days of the automobile, when cars were still a novelty and long-distance travel was an adventure. The vanishing hitchhiker is what's known as a modern urban legend. It taps into our deep-seated fears. Fear of the dark, of lonely roads, and of the unknown. It also plays on our sense of compassion and the potential danger of helping strangers. One of the earliest printed versions appeared in 1942, but oral tales likely existed long before that. The story has been adapted and retold in countless ways all over the world. In Hawaii, she's the goddess Pele, testing the kindness of mortals. In other places, she's a resurrection Mary or a white lady, each with her own unique local history and tragic backstory. What makes this story so powerful and enduring? It's the relatability. Many of us have been that lone driver. We know the feeling of the road hypnosis, the eerie silence between songs on the radio. The story places an extraordinary event into a very ordinary, everyday setting. It feels like it could happen to anyone. The girl in the white dress represents innocence lost, a life cut tragically short. Her ghostly reappearance is not malicious. She isn't trying to harm anyone. She's just lost, forever stuck in the last moments of her life, trying to complete a journey she never finished. This adds a layer of sadness to the fear, making the story resonate on a deeper emotional level. It's a perfect ghost story. It has mystery, suspense, a touch of tragedy, and a shocking twist. It leaves you with an unsettling question. Was it a ghost? A hallucination brought on by fatigue and the monotonous drive? Or something else entirely? The ambiguity is part of its genius. So the next time you're driving on a dark, rainy night and you see a lone figure on the side of the road, what will you do? Will you remember the story and speed past, your heart racing? Or will you take a chance, pull over, and maybe, just maybe, offer a ride to the girl in the white dress? Think about it. And maybe, just to be safe, keep your doors locked. Thank you so much for watching. If you love spooky stories and urban legends like this one, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our next dive into the unknown. Let me know in the comments if you've ever heard a version of this story, or if you have a local ghost, legend of your own. Stay safe out there, and see you next time.